busy Monday?
Hey, here we go. Yeah, busy. We had Kenny Dillingham already. We had Dennis Gardeck. Colin is out getting Jonathan Gannon right now, and here I am getting ready for a Monday Night Football game on ABC.
Man, you guys are nonstop. Hey, any chance Mark May got his credential with the Cardinals?
He did not.
Okay.
I think he's got some receipts for a pretty good case there, Coach, to go get those credentials.
He was fired up on Friday on our show. Woo! Yes. Oh, it's good.
He had a few zingers in, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. All right, let's get started. Question number one has to do with the Cardinals. Of course, they'll host the Giants this week. All right, the Cardinals defense played good to win and showed more physicality and speed from the last regime under former defensive coordinator Vance Joseph. Fact or Fouhy?
Fouhy on that. Listen, the problem with that question is there's so many multiples in there. If this, if that happened, this happened. Here's the problem. They had 9 penalties for 122 yards. In one Commander's drive, they had 3 penalties for 67 yards? Yeah, of the 97 yards the Commanders had, 67 were on penalties. So, and listen, Kaiser White hitting out of bounds like that, helmet to helmet, all those things. I'm sure, and Mark said this last night, I'm sure Kaiser White's going to get some kind of fine for that one and maybe a suspension. We'll see what happens. But listen, they played aggressively. I like that. They came after him. Let's be honest, though, the Commanders' offensive line leaves a lot to be desired, like the Cardinals' offensive line, so I don't want to give excuses there. But I think in terms of aggressiveness, I will answer yes, fact. But in terms of played well enough to win, I'm going to say Fouhy on that because they just have too many penalties and too many dumb mistakes.
Coach, I can't recollect if Vance Joseph did. He rotate guys in there a lot. You saw a lot of linemen. Okay, I can't recollect if he did it at that because it was very obvious. 3-4 like a dang hockey line coming in and out of the game.
Yeah, they did. I mean, everybody rotates now because you got to have depth. You can't keep guys fresh all game if they're playing every snap. The good news in this game was the Commanders only had 65 snaps. The bad news is the Cardinals had 58, so even fewer. But it was one of those games where the worst team was going to lose or maybe win, depending on how you looked at it. But it was just two bad teams going at it with Sam Howell and the Commanders' struggling offensive line. They do have a great defensive front, the Commanders. But I think it's just a matter of we saw they're aggressive, and I'll give them that defensively.
All right, Coach, question number 2. It is going to take a few games with Josh Dobbs as your QB to get any kind of chemistry and continuity with the offense, especially with the first-year offensive coordinator. Fact or Fouhy?
It's going to take a lot of years.
I'm just talking about games. I'm just talking about like 3 or 4 games till Kyler's ready.
No. Listen, there is a reason. There's a reason Josh Dobbs has been on 6 teams in 7 seasons, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But if you count the Steelers and Browns twice at once, then it's 6. 8 different stops in 7 seasons. Listen, he's not the answer. I'm sorry. I think they had something like 14 negative plays in the game. Half of the yards in the fourth quarter were just negative yards. They averaged, 3? I'm looking for I want to get it right. They averaged where's their total yards? 210 total yards. They averaged 3.6 yards a play. That's not good. That's not good. And Josh Dobbs is not the answer. Why in the world would the Browns give him up for a 7th-round pick?
All right, so are you advocating then to switch QBs then for this coming game this weekend?
Well, I don't think you have a good choice. I don't think you're either going Clayton Tune, rookie, or you're going Josh Dobbs, who's proven he can't play in this league. So, Josh Dobbs at best is a practice squad guy that you call up in case of emergency, and then you got Clayton Tune as a rookie. But that's what you did to yourself when you cut Colt McCoy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they have a great choice, and I'm not here to sing the praises of Josh Dobbs because I didn't think he looked very good.
Okay. Question 3: Cardinal fans finally saw the value of first-round selection Zaven Collins as he had his best game as a pro. Finally, at the right position, can he flourish? Fact or Fouhy? I didn't think it was that funny.
How many commas are in that question?
Yeah.
Hey, Manuch writes the questions, not me.
If this and that and this
Yes.
and this, if he did that and he's at the right position and he played his best. I mean, holy cow, Manuch, come on, man.
Yeah.
Listen.
A lot of disclaimers there, Coach.
There are a lot of disclaimers, and I will say this. I'll say facts because I think Zaven Collins is finally in a position where the entire defense doesn't rest on his brain.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He can do what he does best. I think they discovered early on in Zaven's career that he's not the I don't want to knock Zaven at all because if you've ever stood next to him, he's a specimen of a human being. I mean, the guy is huge. He can run. He can hit. He's great. And I don't want him coming over and tackle me at practice tomorrow, but on Wednesday. But anyway, I think he's finally at a place where all he has to worry about is himself.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
He just looks. He lines up and he goes. See quarterback. Go get quarterback. Do this. Drop into coverage. And I think that's a good position for him. And we saw his athleticism. Like we hadn't seen before. So I think, yes, he's in a great position. He's going to succeed and flourish there.
All right, Craig Fouhy, ABC 15, question number 4 for Factor Fouhy here on Fox Sports 910. Ultimately, the Sun Devils had a hard time matching the size, speed, and tempo. Sometimes you don't need that comma after that second one beforehand.
Is that what your mom said?
Tempo of Oklahoma State in the second half. So ultimately, the Sun Devils had a hard time matching size, speed, and tempo of Oklahoma State in the second half. Factor Fouhy.
Back. Listen. This Sun Devil team is not a great team, right? They've scored 3 points in 2 games in the second half. And so if you look at the second half against Southern Utah, they scored 3 points. If you look at the second half against Oklahoma State, they scored 0. Mm-hmm. So that's 3 points in 2 games in the second half. That's not good. And you only scored 3 against Southern Utah. That's not good. So in terms of where they're at, and now they've got some serious injuries at different positions. Mm-hmm. Just listening to Kenny Dillingham today, they've got to change some things. They look like they need, there's no
3 minutes.
There's no corrections at halftime. There's no adjustments at halftime, right? They come out and do the same thing. And I don't know if that's a product of Jaden Rashada being a freshman and he can only handle so much at this point. But Kenny even said today, we've got to change the way I look at offense, right? The way I'm thinking of what I've done in the past. We've got to change based on our personalities. Very pleased with Jaden Rashada and his growth as a freshman, but they got to change something. And they're just going to continue to do that. They've got Fresno State this week. They're underdogs. They're underdogs against Fresno State. Really? That's how bad it is. Then they got USC after that. So it doesn't lighten up. And maybe not even when you go to Cal on September 30th. We'll see.
All right, Coach, last question. The Dbacks winning 3 of their last from the Cubs and 5 of the last 7 has them playing their best baseball in the second half of the season. Factor Fouhy.
Ooh, best baseball, huh? I will say factor that because they played really well in August. Like they came back in August and had a pretty good August, and now they've started off September with those wins in Chicago, which I was hoping for the sweep yesterday at Wrigley. Now they're off to the Mets to see how they do, but they're in 3rd place right now. They got that 3rd wild card spot, so we'll see it. But yeah, I'm impressed
2 minutes
so far. If they can keep it up, this is the stretch run, right? You go down at the end of September, 1st of October. This is it. You got to play your best baseball now. So we'll see how they do. But I've told you this before. I'm a big Torey Lovello fan, and I like what they've done with Mike Hayes and getting guys in position to succeed. So I'm hopeful for them.
Fouhy, we love having you on Mondays, man. Thanks as always.
You fired me up again. Fired me up.
Got it. Comma.
Don't get too high.
That's ABC 15's Craig Fouhy. Make sure you tune in tonight. You just heard them as they've been interviewing everybody today. Mondays are slammed on ABC 15. Not to mention Monday Night Football.
1 minute. 1 minute.
That's new. ABC. We got Monday Night Football back on ABC.
Yeah,
that's great.
You love that. You don't have to worry about that cable thing anymore. Just turn that bad boy on, let it rip.